Hello everyone and welcome to The Buzz with Bernadette. Today's episode is a double feature. So first I'll be sharing my thoughts on the movie that I saw last night, which was The Long Walk. This was a very different movie than I've seen in a long time. It was so good actually. It was a very heartfelt movie. And honestly, I haven't stopped thinking about it. It really gets you. Then we're going to shift gears to break down Unknown Number, which is the High School Catfish, the Netflix documentary that shocked everyone. Everyone, literally. I was going to post my thoughts on that up on TikTok, but I thought, no, I actually have to just talk about it on here because it was pretty full on. So we'll look at what was shown and more importantly, what wasn't shown, because there's been quite a few TikToks of people going, do you know what? We were from that town and this and this and this never got talked about. So they're both very powerful stories and both about trust, relationships, and how people connect or sometimes break those connections. So, let's dive in. So let's start off with The Long Walk. So, wow, this isn't just a movie. This was an experience. It was a group of people, actually, teenage boys. Pretty much all of them, I think, were strangers. They come together to walk side by side for days. I think it's something like 4 or 5 days, if I'm correct. Now, what struck me immediately was how the film shows that you don't have to know someone for years to build a deep bond with them. Like 5 days of walking together can create friendships that feel like they've been there for a lifetime. The themes in the movie are friendship, resilience, perspective. Each walker brings their own story, whether it be loss, love, identity, healing. And when you strip life down to something as simple as walking, eating, talking, all the distractions fade and you're left with people being people. And that is powerful. So when you think about it, the whole movie was shot just a whole bunch of guys just walking. And they all started out they knew they had been given this, without giving too much away, they've been given this rule book. So they had all these rules to follow. And so they knew what they were up for. They knew that they weren't going to be able to They weren't allowed to stop walking. They had to keep going. If they had to keep a pace of 3 miles per hour. 3 miles per hour. Now, if they went below that, they got a warning. They got up to 3 warnings. They would get 1 warning per hour, I think. And if they didn't adhere to those rules, they would be, let's just say, eliminated. So, it was pretty full on from that point of view. Look, if you're quite sensitive or you've got a sensitive stomach, I don't think this would be the movie for you. But the message behind it is actually so amazing. What I loved most is it's a heartfelt reminder that connections don't need bells and whistles, just shared time, vulnerability and trust. And watching them reminded me that sometimes our strongest relationships are forged not in luxury, but in shared challenges. And you could see at the beginning of the walk, these guys didn't really know each other. They just, they were just living high on life and just, thinking this is going to be easy. This is not a problem. And then, and everybody sort of had different strengths and different vulnerabilities and different, they were able to, some people you could tell their inner strength was going to go a lot further than others. So it was quite interesting because, some people's stamina was physically and mentally, some people's stamina was over quite quickly and some people were in it for the long haul. So, it was a movie that just made you think, it just made you think about your own friendships. When was the last time you gave someone that uninterrupted time? When was the last time you had a really deep, meaningful conversation? When was the last time somebody just didn't want anything from you but just pure friendship? just to be. Just to be with another friend. The cinematography is gorgeous too. You really feel the terrain under their feet. Like, honestly, you really feel quite a few things going on. The aching bodies, the sweat, the laughter. By the end, you've walked every step with them. And trust me, you're basically seeing a group of guys up close walking the whole movie. There's a lot of walking, there's a lot of talking. And if you think that's just what the movie is about, it just goes so much deeper than that. This is a movie by Stephen King, based on his novel from 1979, by the way. But it's a completely different Stephen King movie than you would be used to seeing. Like I said, it really runs deep. You realise that the walk itself is less about the miles and more about the people. My review, my verdict is this film stays with you. It's heartfelt, it's human, and it leaves you thinking about what kind of bonds you're building in your own life. Yeah. And it just, I don't know, like there was some really, I'm not going to give anything away. I'm trying to think of how to say it, but there's obviously like 2 to 3 main characters that you instantly will know, right, I resonate with them. Yeah. There's a couple of really good eggs in that movie where you just I left anyway, thinking like, yeah, you know what, out of all the friends that you have, I would like a friend like that guy. Like the loyalty between 2 or 3 of the characters really runs very strong. Yeah, it was lovely, lovely movie. But I am going to say be ready. It was actually there was some really, it's going to sound weird to say this, but there was really some graphic parts in there, but there was also parts where you laughed and, just shared those really vulnerable moments, and out of something so grim, they still managed to make, light of it. So it was like a little bit like Hunger Games, but people weren't chasing each other and trying to kill each other, put it this way. So anyway, I think it was definitely one to go and see. I'm even going to go out there and say it might be up for a few awards. It definitely will be up for a few awards, this movie. It was one of the best movies I've seen in a while. Okay, so now from a story about human connection at its best, we pivot to one about betrayal, manipulation, same theme, relationships, but a darker side. So let's talk about Unknown Number, the High School Catfish. So this is on Netflix at the moment. It's a documentary. So this blew up on Netflix. I've seen it all over my TikTok feed for the last few weeks, and I'm really glad I got to watch it before I saw the spoiler. So you've probably all heard the spoiler by now. So I don't know. I'm going to try and be careful. Okay, so this all happens in Beale City, Michigan. A teenage girl named Lauren Licari and her boyfriend Owen start getting harassed by endless anonymous texts. Vicious, threatening, relentless. So at first, everyone suspects the schoolmates, maybe jealous friends. The messages felt personal, like someone close was watching. So they take you through when she starts getting messages, like, a long time ago, and then they just disappear and she has a break, and then the messages come back again. And it's like the content in these messages could only be coming from somebody who is really up close and personal with this girl, because this person can see what this girl is wearing, how she's worn her hair, what her thoughts were yesterday. It's just like, you're watching this documentary and they suck you in. You're literally going, who could this be? And there's the obvious people, yeah, I can't even say. There's the obvious people that they're making it look like it could be them, it could be this girl, could be that guy, but then the person it turns out to be, you're just like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this. Eventually, it takes honestly about 12 months for it to actually get taken seriously. So this girl is getting 40 messages a day, and no one's taking it seriously. The school's not taking it seriously. Then I think all the parents in the school start sort of getting together, demanding answers, like what's happening, da-da-da. Now, eventually, the FBI trace these messages start coming through IP addresses and phone apps. I didn't even know there was like phone apps that you can get that will mask your number. I didn't even know that. So, anyway, so they trace the IP address and the phone numbers, the phone apps. And yeah, but it's like, it took them months and months and months to figure out how to do this. Like, I was sitting there watching this movie going, why wouldn't you just take your daughter's phone away from her? Why wouldn't you just go, right, we are burning that phone. I'm getting you a new phone, new SIM card. And if it happens again, I'm sorry, we're taking it all away. Like, you're just going to have to, because it's bad for your mental health. It's bad for your it's just bad. You just got to take it away. We can't have, I could not have my daughter going through that. That would just be awful. So there was a few questions I was asking myself, like, why? So she's in this beautiful relationship with her first love, and all the messages were kind of like telling this girl, he doesn't like you, you're ugly, he wants me instead. And eventually they stay strong through it for as long as they can, but it eventually starts to wear away at them. And yeah, and then before you know it, they actually do break up. So you think, that is so sad. That is such a shame. But then you kind of like think, oh, well, look, worst case scenario, at least these messages are going to stop. Whoever it is got what she wanted, and yeah, so be it, even though it's not ideal. So, but they don't. The messages don't stop. They keep going on and on and on. So I'm actually not going to be able to tell you who it was, but you probably already know, because you've probably already watched it, but I just don't want to give the spoiler. Yeah, but it is definitely one that you need to watch. And I just think that who it turns out to be, this poor girl for the rest of her life is going to be scarred, because it's a person that this girl is going to see for the rest of her life. And don't forget, they come from a small town. I think there was like 500, 600 people in the high school, but the documentary starts and with them saying that there's only like one traffic light and one stop sign in the whole town. So there's not that many people. And she also said that, because there was not much to do in the town, everybody loved using their phones, and a lot of gossip went on. And the gossip mainly came from the parents talking about the kids and what the kids were up to, which I thought was just really, really weird. Couldn't they do activities? Couldn't they hold events? Couldn't they do something? But yeah, so that's that. But yeah, I do feel like the implications for Lauren will last a lifetime, because yeah, she's going to have to see this person. The messages went on for over 12 months at an age where she was very impressionable. You're worried about your looks, you're worried about how you're perceived, etc. So, sorry about that. So, those thoughts, those text messages, everything are going to like basically stay with her for good, which is such a shame. And I really hope that they can probably get her some help, and she definitely will be needing to talk to somebody. I don't know if she'll be able to be going on social media, or whether she's going to be seeing all this backlash from this documentary. But yeah, it's just, I think there's going to have to be something further to be said on this, because yeah, there's been definitely many more videos that have come out since the documentary of people that come from the town just saying they've left out so much. But the documentary does show the investigation, the body cam arrest. It shows, Lauren's devastation. Okay, yeah, I'm struggling because I've got information here, but I can't say it. I don't want to say it. It shows how the documentary doesn't show how the convicted person, how they were unusually fixated on Owen, still attending his basketball games long after the breakup, in plain sight. Now, it didn't show how the harassment shattered not just Lauren and Owen, but the other kids as well. Because you've got to remember, like, the friends were accused, so their reputations were damaged. As you know, like, once you put something out there, whether it's true or not, it still does damage, right? Now, it doesn't show the FBI's technical work in tracing the messages. It was way more complex than the film let on, and they didn't dive into that enough. And there's more to that as well, but I can't say. The person pled guilty to stalking charges. She did serve time, 19 months to 5 years, and got parole in 2024. Lauren is now 18 and studying criminology. Owen is at college playing baseball, and their lives continue, but the scars remain. And the documentary, while gripping, only scratches the surface of the community-wide fallout and the convicted person's deeper motives. So, you know, I would actually like to see Lauren and Owen get back together at some stage. I really would. I feel like she was cheated from such a lovely relationship that had a friendship since they were little, like tiny little kids. So such a shame. It actually breaks my heart. Yeah, so anyway, my review on this is it's a case study in broken trust. Like, you can't, there's no way you can come back from this. There's no way you can overlook this. This trust is well and truly broken for the rest of your life. It shows how technology can easily be weaponized, but also how it can expose the truth. And most importantly, it reminds us sometimes that the person hurting you isn't who you expect. And that's why vigilance matters. Like, you know, you must get down to it. But I mean, unfortunately for Lauren, she was so young. So yeah, it's a tricky one for her. She was still a child. So we've definitely covered two extremes in this episode. The long walk showed us the best of human bonds, and how quickly people can connect, support, uplift each other. And in Unknown Number, it shows the flip side, how betrayal from someone close to you can leave the deepest wounds. Both stories are about connection, but they take us in completely opposite directions. So hopefully you have watched both of these, or you will be watching both of these. They're actually both really interesting watches. And thanks for tuning into The Buzz with Bernadette. And remember to keep walking with the people who lift you up, and stay cautious of the ones who don't. And until next time, keep sparkling and stay fabulous.